Hey there, Virgo. Welcome to my channel, Autumn and the Mage. This is a general reading for Virgo in regards to love. It is general, so it might not resonate with you. If you were drawn to the video, then perhaps there is a message intended for you, or perhaps the entire message is intended for you. But if some part of it really doesn't resonate, if it doesn't feel like it's yours, then don't try to force it. Just take what is and leave the rest behind. There's 3 cards. It's too many. We're using the Journey of Love Oracle deck here to take a look at your connection. We're going to pull a card for past, one for present, and one for future energy of this connection. Sorry, we had a minor interruption. No, why do you keep doing that? I won't take 3 cards. I'll take 2 if you really want me to take 2, but I won't take 3. Past energy, please, for Virgo and the person they're connecting with. I'm sorry for getting mouthy. I apologize. Can I please have 1 card, though? Please. Wow. Card number 37, Fire and Ice. It's a past energy. Can I please get a card for the current energy for Virgo and the person that they're connecting with? Current energy, please. Card number 69, Contemplation. And future energy, please. Future energy for Virgo and the person they're connecting with. Card number 42, The Blood Dance. I'm going to read to you what it says in the book, and then we're going to clarify with tarot cards. 37, Fire and Ice. You are learning to hold the tension of opposites, of those things that don't immediately seem to go together within your being, without collapsing into confusion, judgment, or denial. There is passion and serenity, creation and destruction, new life and death emerging within you, within your relationships. Sometimes this is hard to handle. We want to make things simpler, to just let go of the conflict and complexity and choose one or the other. You are a grand enough soul to be able to withstand the rigors of depth, to go deep, to live fully, to let the divine have its way through you requires a willingness to stand at the center of the pairs of opposites, and eventually know that they are connected to each other, that they exist only in relationship to each other, to breathe and simply be. If you are consciously feeling the conflict in your life, internally or externally, then you are being initiated through fire and ice. Stay present, be patient, and wait. There's nothing to fix here, just awareness to step into as divine creation continues to unfold through you. As you master this initiation, you will find a sweet nectar of bliss dripping within. This oracle brings you guidance that the conflict you feel within or externally is a sign of your spiritual growth. Soon you will grow larger than the conflict, but for now, you do not need to engage in it, simply to be present to it and allow it to work its way through you until you are strong enough to have outgrown the conflict, giving rise to a clear direction. It may seem impossible, beloved, but it's not. You are a vast being. Give yourself a chance to realize this and have patience. All is becoming, including you, according to the perfection of divine design. This oracle brings specific guidance on any relationship matter requiring a decision. until you have simple clarity in your heart beyond the pushing away and pulling closer. Then it is time to wait, for there is more yet to be revealed. Only when your heart speaks clearly, then you will do well to act as feels truthful for you. There's a little poem. There is a beautiful silence now as I hold your hands and listen to your eyes across a span of moments called time. There are no words that say as much, nor walls that could confine the wings of our feelings or the rhythm of our eyes. Wow, that's kind of intense. So it's kind of like a waiting, it feels like. It feels like you were being hit by many things. It feels like you, so much conflict, and you could not move in the conflict because you needed to give it time so that you could grow and become strong enough to be above it, really, to be beyond it and be able to move outside of it. That's interesting. So that's the past energy. Sorry for all the interruptions, by the way. I have children. They keep coming in here. And I love them immensely. They're fantastic, but they are loud. Anyway, card number 69. Your current situation, the current energy is contemplation. Within you, there's a question arising. When you get the question right, the answer will be self-evident. But you have to plunge your consciousness deep within to find the right question, to articulate it clearly and understand what it is that you are really asking. The question within you is actually a divine gift of awakening. It is your future awakened self waiting to be found and calling to you too. Let the question arise through dreams, dance, meditation, sleep, yoga, time in nature, swimming in the ocean, bathing in an aromatherapy bath, or receiving a hot stone massage. The question holds within it the next unfolding petal of the lotus of your being. This oracle brings you an invitation to enter into the mystery of your life and your being, and to allow the biggest question you can summon to emerge from your heart and be expressed through love. Your question may emerge as clear and shining or soft and yielding, a question with no words, only feeling. Whatever truth emerges, let that be your contemplation. In response to that question, the next step forward will unfold before you, revealed in perfect clarity and perfect timing. This oracle brings you a message from your own divine nature. Come sit with me and breathe. I want to ask you something. I want you to ask me something. Together there's a conversation that we are to have now, and there will be beautiful accord between us that overflows into all of our relationships, bringing more understanding and peace. That's so pretty. It feels like a conversation, really. I mean, they propose it as a conversation within yourself, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's a questioning within you, or a conversation that you want to have with yourself, but it also kind of poses it as a conversation with someone else, and talking together. There's a poem here. Patterns break through the night in beams of light awakening, memories of walking on sand, moments, waves replace, waiting for another passerby. Reflections, time to look outward in, to find those hidden spaces residing alone, waiting for a twin soul, waiting for myself. Wow, that's so pretty. And it might be, like it says, might be searching for yourself, and an understanding within. Or it could be a searching for yourself in someone else. Sometimes that is something we find ourselves in someone else, and it feels like home, and it feels like they've known us forever, and how could they possibly know so much or understand so much about who we are without knowing us, And so finding that in someone else, possibly, take it how it resonates. Card number 42 for the future. Oh, the blood dance. The heart craves life, and the blood responds. In relationship to each other, life happens. The desire and the action, the movement of cycles, drawing in and letting go, rushing to the center and pushing far away to the extremities. It is the cycle of relationship, dancing between self and other, into oneness and into individuality. So it is with human beings in relationship with each other, and with human beings and the divine essence. Sometimes the heart of God feels so close, it's as though our own inner passion is the very blood rushing through it. Then we journey far, bringing our nourishment to where it is needed, to those who are cold and lonely, to the furthest reaches of our own dark self, that we may, if very brave, dare to love completely. Though we can be lonely for the warmth of the center, then craving that feeling of being at home, soon enough we are called back to the core of the divine heart, and the cycle continues. Remember that you are always in this dance of life. You are never apart from the divine. It is just that sometimes in our natural flow, it is easier to feel the divine presence than other times. Yet you are always the blood connected to the heart. This oracle brings you confirmation that you are connected to this divine source, to all that is. If you're experiencing a phase of feeling cut off from yourself, from your own body, from another, or from the divine, even from your own feelings, spiritual connection, or intuition, be reassured that this is temporary and part of the cycle of life itself. Soon all connection shall return with even greater warmth and nourishment, welcoming you home again with great love. If you feel you have been journeying in life and fear that you have lost your way, do not trouble yourself, precious soul. You are never far from the divine heart and will always be called home. Love's language speaks like sound of falling leaves, caressing winds to bear aroma sweet. You ask if I can love and measure true, and give emotions weight, the scales do. Each tear releases more than words can say, expressing all my heart wants to convey. That sounds sad. That little poem there, but it says here, it looks to me like in the future, well, I mean, it talks about cycles, and it talks about feeling pulled away, but also being brought back in. And it's possible that you'll be in that cycle, like feeling that tug, that, you know, that kind of pushing and then tugging back kind of energy. It may be, though, that you will experience a time of feeling like disconnected from what you want, maybe disconnected from yourself. But know that you'll return, that you will. Life is in cycles. Life works in cycles, and we're at different stages of those cycles, but we always return to them. All right, let's go ahead and clarify these cards. We're going to start with that fire and ice, card number 37 from your past. Please clarify 37, fire and ice. That flipped real fast. The Tower, wow. The Tower represents change. It can also represent like a sudden realization of something, like a sudden change of thought. We also get the World, which also represents change, represents things ending so that new things can begin. And remember that fire and ice card is about, about being overwhelmed, and about, let's pull it up again, 37, fire and ice. There's something in particular I was just trying to remember. Yeah, just a lot of things happening all at once for you. And the Tower represents change. Okay, so perhaps there were a lot of things changing for you, things that you were surprised by, things that you weren't anticipating. And with the World, again, that's things coming to an end so that new things can begin. I mean, ultimately, it's positive things with the World. It's a ending of a cycle so that a new, better cycle can begin. But they're both cards of change. And that fire and ice represented a lot of change happening in your past. Let's take a look at that 69 contemplation. So the current energy. Can you please clarify contemplation? Wow, these cards are just like falling out. Please clarify contemplation for the current energy. Contemplation had to do with a question. Either a question you wanted to ask yourself or a question you wanted to ask somebody else, a conversation that you needed to have. And the card that fell out was the Ace of Cups, which is a new beginning in love. Aces represent new beginnings, a fresh start. Sometimes we say new beginning, but if it's an existing relationship, then it's just like, a kickstart. Starting things over, giving something a boost so you feel it renewed within yourself, So that's the Ace. And then Cups, of course, represents water, which is our emotions, and love. So there's a conversation it looks like you want to have, or question you need to ask in regards to a new start in love. Let's go ahead and clarify the Blood Dance, card 42. For the future energy. Please clarify 42. Please clarify the future energy for Virgo and the person they're connecting with. Please clarify the future energy, card 42 for Virgo and the person they're connecting with, the Blood Dance. We get the Star. And the Star represents wishes. It represents hopes and healing. Sometimes wish fulfillment, sometimes a wish coming true. And the Blood Dance had to do with cycles and things kind of ebbing and flowing, right? Let's check it again, just to be sure. 42, the Blood Dance. Yeah, it talks about the blood in our bodies and how it returns back to the heart. And how we can be lonely for the warmth of the center, which of course is like when the blood is away from the heart and feeding and nurturing other parts of the body, then it needs to be, it craves returning to the core. And so the cycle continues, it returns to the core, and then it starts again. And so it's like about the dance of life, really. And if you're feeling cut off, not to worry, because you will find your way back. The Star does have to do with healing, and also wish fulfillment. It's about having hope, but it is often about healing. And so it looks like in the future, it's possible that you might feel a little isolated, and that there is, with the Star being with that, the Star connected to that, then I would say that if you do feel like you are disconnected, if you feel like you've been cut off a bit, that it might have to do with that healing. It might have to do with that Star energy. Let's see if we can get anything else. Can you clarify that further? we get the Wheel of Fortune, which is things changing for the positive, which again, the Wheel of Fortune also talks about cycles and talks about how the wheel is turning. It's always turning, and sometimes it's up for us and sometimes it's down for us, but it's always turning. And ultimately, the Wheel of Fortune, it's the Wheel of Fortune, and it talks about things changing in a positive way. So things returning to good. And that's what the blood dance was saying. At times you may feel like you're further from that connection, because the connection in this card that they're talking about is that connection with heart. And as the blood flows out through the body, it's further away. So sometimes you may feel that way, like you're far from that connection, but you're always the path will always lead you back to the core, will always lead you back to the center. So I feel like in the future, you might find yourself struggling with that flow, with the cycles, but you'll need to remember that, it all returns. It just keeps turning. It keeps going. So let's go ahead and get a message for you from the Lover's Oracle. Can we please get a message for Virgo? Well, I just looked at the clock and it said 22:22 when I paused it there. If that means anything to you. My kid just ran in the room, sorry. Do you have anything else for Virgo? All right, so this is the card we get. And the message says, when you pass from this world, you take nothing with you but your soul and the memories you have shared with those you love, which is a highlight on the importance of connection. And it's a good message. I feel personally that the connection is really the only reason we're here, because we can't take anything with us. We can't take anything with us. So all we have are the connections that we build with people that are strong enough that we can carry them into the next life, or we can carry them into wherever we go, wherever our energy goes. But that's just personal belief. You believe what you want to believe. You believe what you believe. But this is just a reminder that we're here to make these connections. We're here to foster these connections with people and build them. So, yeah. That's all that I have for you, Virgo. I feel like your reading was super short, but all of the messages were just really clear, and I didn't have any questions. I hope you didn't have any questions. I hope that this brought, the future card is not super helpful, right? That blood dance. And if you feel disconnected, then know that you will be reconnected. But it's possible. It's possible that it's saying, that you'll find yourself reconnecting, or like you'll find yourself back at that center. And because if right now you feel like you're far from it, if you feel like you've been pulled away from it, if you're out at the extremities, and away from the core, then finding yourself back at the core and just understanding that it's cycles and that it just keeps going, keeps turning. Anyway, that's all that I have for you, Virgo. I hope this resonated with you. If it did, I'd love to hear about it. You could like the video. You could post a comment below. My email address is listed in the description box of this if you'd like to send me an email. I wish you good luck in this and all things. Thank you for watching this video. It means a lot to me for you to give me that support. So thank you for that. Please remember to be positive, think positive thoughts, and say positive words so you will draw in positive things in your life. This card just flipped. It says, a message for you. I'm thinking of you this very moment. Your love fills me with light. I love you. But yeah, so Virgo, thank you again. Good luck, and I'll see you next time. Bye.